I wanted to be a journalist. So if you think about the topic that excite me, they are fairly basic questions. I'm not driven by big theories. I'm driven by explaining basic facts. And inequality has always been an interest of mine. My work on gender has been about trying to rationalize what we see in the labor market without having to rely on discrimination and harassment. It's about polarization and about kind of culture and kind of how people communicate with one another and share or do not share cultural capital in the context of rising income inequality, the signs that we're getting more and more polarized. I'm really eager to try to find more ways to think about first whether that's true and and why it's happening and what can be done about it. The work that we did was really simply about trying to document the bias, and a lot of the work that's been done since has been really about replicating the same study in other countries, other contexts, other minorities. The much harder question is what do we do, and how do we break this? And there, unfortunately, I think research has been much less useful. They are, just give one example, right? It seems that one would not want a hiring manager to be able to say, I did not like this person, but we would like the hiring manager to be forced to at least write a couple of sentences that explains why we didn't hire this person. That's creating a little additional cost in the hiring process, but that could make a huge difference. There are other, kind of techniques that people have talked about which have been fairly directly inspired by the way we did our work, which might be to just take names out of resumes, at least for the first step. If you look at the psychology literature, there are really two main, approaches. One is to try to teach people about their biases, teaching people that they have biases. And there's a lot of training and a lot of companies that make a business of growing and training HR managers and employees overall about these implicit biases and making people aware of them. And there's another approach which is to use what we call technological debiasing, in thinking about how we could re-engineer the hiring process to try to make sure that all of the steps where we'd expect biases, even implicit biases, to creep in. I view that approach to be much more exciting and potentially much more robust. I think a variant on this, which I think is also an exciting one, a simple one, is that when you review resumes, let's focus on the issue of race, right? Instead of kind of lining up the top 3 applicants, you may be forced to line up the top 2 applicants on the white pile and the top 2 applicants on the black pile. And then you have to make a comparison across the 2 piles. That would be a good way to make sure that minority applicants don't get lost because of biases. Machine learning is also offering, I think, a lot of potential tools that may make it such that a lot of these human biases are going to get out of the process, or at least their influence is being reduced.